All right, let's give this a shot. So we're gonna try and do wheel today. And let's take a look. First, make sure you're working in the same document that has all of your different part files, and we'll eventually have your assembly. And so let's go ahead. I feel like I'm forgetting something, whatever. Create Part Studio. And I'll drag this over here for no reason. Let's rename this a wheel. And let's full screen it and take a look at what we actually need to build, or model, I should say. All right, so this is another one where we are going to do a revolve. And pretty much anytime you want a something that is what we call radial symmetry, or radially symmetrical, meaning the same, like spun around, you're going to probably want to do a revolve. There is actually a clever way to do this with just extrusions and fillets, but the fact that you can see what's called a section view, which is a cross section, pretty much tells you you're going to do a revolve of that section view. So our sketch is actually going to be this slash line area, and then we're going to revolve it around the center axis. Now, it's a little bit tricky because the center axis doesn't actually have any material there. There's like a gap where there's no material, which means we can either put a gap in when we make the sketch, or we can just pretend like there's material there, and then after the revolve, we can make the center hole that's just a cut through the middle, which is actually going to be a lot easier. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our sketch of this. We're going to do it sort of on the side, the same way we did the various pegs. So the sketch is going to end up looking like this. And we're going to revolve it around this center axis. And as we go all the way around, it will then make the wheel. Okay, so taking a look at this sketch, we can see that there's a long straight line here that's 1 inch, and that's the distance. Everything's measured from our center line, and it's 1 inch to the center point. So we can start with a rectangle that's 1 by 0.125, which will be this size. Add a circle on the end like that. Make another rectangle that's here. And actually, these curved portions, like the curved part here and the curved part there, the curved part there and curved part there, we can do in the sketch. Those are fillets that we could do as sketch features. And here you can see how big the radius of those fillets are. We can do it as a sketch feature, but it's actually easier to use the part feature fillet, and I'll show you both ways. But you can stick with me on the easier way. And then after that, once we have the solid wheel, we need to make these cutouts and the sort of linkage nub there. And you can see the cutouts are angled and have a arc on the inside and outside. And so let's start with that. Okay, so we're going to start, like I said, with a rectangle that is 1 inch this way and 0.125 that way. And so let's go ahead and start a sketch on the front plane. Look at it straight on. We definitely want to look at it straight on for this. It's going to get pretty complicated. Let's turn off the visibility of the origin planes now that we know where we're sketching. Let's get a 2-point rectangle and make it that direction. And we want to make it 1 inch this way. And we'll zoom in and make it 0.125 that way. Okay, And we're actually going to do the two other small rectangles first. There's one small rectangle that's this way. And another one, well, it's this big, but we already have this portion of it with what we just made. So we just need another bit there. And we already have this portion here. So we just need to do another bit here. You can see that if you follow this edge all the way in, it's 0.25 from the back, which we already have 0.125. So it's just another 0.125. And the dimensions to those rectangles are 0.25 from our center line and 0.75 from our center line, which is same as 0.25 that way. So both of these rectangles are 0.125 by 0.25. And then once we have that, we can just add a circle that has the same center point there. And I know it sounds complicated, but as it comes together, you will probably understand it well. So we're still in the same sketch. We need another 2-point rectangle that starts from here and goes this way, and another one that starts from here and goes this way. And we're going to dimension, they're both the same size, 0.125 tall and 0.25 wide. Okay, and right click done with the dimension tool. Then we just need our circle on the end that'll make that rounded off. So let's get a center point circle. And the center point is this right here. And the second click is the corner. We don't even need to dimension it. You can see it already turns black. Okay, so I'll show you what this looks like, and then I'll show you the other fillet way. We'll just come back for a second. So we're going to finish sketch and do a revolve. And we want to choose everything that we want to revolve, which is everything. And choose the axis, which is any one of these vertical things. And there is the wheel. Okay, the way that I'm going to come back and do it is by doing this fillet here. And if you were to look back, it'd be 0.0625, which I think is a 16th, I'm not sure. And we want to fillet this edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge to get that rounded situation. Now, the other way we could have done it is before we did the revolve, round over those corners first. We can use the sketch fillet and the corner between here and here. How do we, can we even do a fillet of that size? Huh, I wonder if it, strange. I think the default fillet size in the sketch won't let you, it's so small, or the default is big enough that it won't let you actually do it. So never mind, we are going to do it the other way. That's strange. I wonder if there's a changing the default size. Either way. Okay, so we're going to finish the sketch. This is where we were a second ago. Revolve, look at it from a corner. Revolve, choose everything we want to revolve, which is everything. Choose our center axis and revolve. Okay, and now that we have a part feature, we can turn off the visibility of the origin point. And we can do that fillet again with the size 0.0625, it rounds it. And the edges we want to fillet are, there's 4 of them. There's this edge, the outside upper one, this edge, the outside lower one, the inside upper one, and the inside lower one. And hit OK. Okay, so we have 3 more features by my count. There is the hole that goes through the middle. And if you're ever not sure how much is needed, you're almost always going to need every single dimension on here somehow. So we've already used this is the size of the fillet. All of these are the size of the sketch parts, sketch, sketch, sketch. Okay. All of these dimensions are this linkage nub thing. This shows you where it is 0.7 from the center. And then it's a bunch of circular extrusions and a cut extrusion of various length. And then these are all the through cuts. There's the hole in the middle that if you follow the extension line out is 0.28 in diameter. And then there are 6 of these cuts, which end up making 6 spokes, but we're only worried about the cuts. And they are all 30 degrees. It's a 30-degree gap. The angle between here and here is 30 degrees. Also, the angle between here and here is 30 degrees. And it's starting 15 degrees off of horizontal. This is actually important because that way there's material where that linkage nub comes out that you can't draw on a gap if you didn't offset, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay, first thing is the hole that's in the middle, and that should be easy. We're going to do a new sketch, and we're going to do it on the back actually because there's less stuff going on. And let's do use. We can project a circle on the back edge, and we need a new center point circle. And we'll dimension that to 0.28. And finish sketch. And extrude. And choose that. And we don't want to create material, we want to cut material. And instead of a distance, we'll just say through all. Generally best practice and hit it. Okay. Okay, so we have this. Now let's do the cut through, which we're actually just going to make this. We're going to make one of these sketches. In fact, let me make sure the circular pattern actually works. I'm just going to do a quick not dimensioned version. Let's do, hold on a second. You don't need to follow along with this yet. Hold on. Why is that like that? Yes. There we go. There's that. And what is going on with my mouse? Okay, so let's see what we have here. It's going to be something like this in a second, but like I said, I want to make sure everything works. Okay, so we would trim stuff around the outside. After we are dimensioned, we would finish the sketch, extrude, choose our shape, switch it to remove all, hit OK. And then do we have a circular pattern? Transform, linear pattern, circular pattern. Okay, featured a pattern is going to be the extrusion, entities to pattern, extrusion, axis to pattern. And we want 6 of them. Is this going to work? Okay, so just pattern the sketch. maybe we need to do this as just a sketch feature. It's strange that they have circular pattern. So entities to pattern should be extrusion 1 and no, I guess we got to do it as a sketch feature. Can we let's delete this. How do we delete that? Okay. So let's edit this, and can we do circular pattern? Let's highlight everything, I'm guessing. And why is that? Oh, will it work now? Okay, so this will work. All right, so we just need to do the sketch as or do the pattern as a sketch rather than as part feature. All right, so from here, now we're doing this. Okay, so we have our whole extrusion. This is the back, right? Yeah. Okay, so we'll do a sketch on the back, and we need to create these lines exactly where they need to go. So I'm actually going to draw a construction line or just a line out in space that's perfectly horizontal so that I can draw this angled line that's 15 degrees and then draw another line that's 30 degrees off of that. And that will give us our two sides. And then I'll show you how to do the arcs in a second. Okay, so we have our sketch. We're sketching on the back. Let us use the center point. Okay, so we'll get a line from here. Let's just make sure it snaps to horizontal and it can go out past everything. It doesn't matter. Right click, escape line, and get a new line from here that goes up a little bit. And right click, escape line, and dimension. And to dimension the angle of something, you're just going first click on this line, like you're going to dimension its length, second click on this line, and then click in between. This first one needs to be 15 degrees off of horizontal. Okay, and the next one will just go up like that. Dimension tool from here to here, and this one needs to make sure the dimension you're getting is a angle dimension like that, and it should be 30 degrees. Okay, so that's that's the lines that are on the outside. And so we've got this part of the shape. Then we just need to make an inside arc and an outside arc, but it's a lot easier, and we've done this before, to make a circle than to do an arc because it will always hold the center point. But the dimensions that we get are radii. So we're just going to need to double them when we make our circles. And if you didn't, it wouldn't look right. So you should know, like if you put in the wrong one. So the inside is 0.375 times 2, and the outside is 0.625 times 2. And you can just put in the arithmetic in there. So we get a circle from our center point, go out past everything or into that area, dimension it 0.375 star 2. Apparently is 0.75. Is that right? Okay. And another circle that is diameter 0.625 star 2. Okay, and so the shape we want to extrude is this shape right here. But the problem is, like I said, the pattern tool is going to be a little finicky as far as what to pattern. So we're going to use the trim tool and trim out the parts around what we don't, around what we want. Get rid of what we don't want. We don't want, okay, so we have the trim tool. We don't want this. We don't want this. We don't want this, 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 or this, or really that either, or out there. Okay, so all of these thin lines are just the dimension lines. They aren't part of our shape. Our shape is these 4 segments, the 2 straight lines that are angled, and then the 2 arcs, or the circles, but now they're arcs. Okay, and right click done with trim. Now we need to pattern, which yours probably says linear pattern here, but you need to click on the drop down, do circular pattern. And the part we want to pattern, or the parts we want to pattern, are these 4 things, which you should be able to highlight all at once. I think you can probably select them one at a time, but we don't want 3 of them, we want 6 of them. So you should be able to double click on that and change it to 6. And you can see there are now 6 of these all the way around. I think enter or escape. Nope, it's not escape. So circular pattern, highlight, and 6 of them. I guess it probably just stays up there until we finish the sketch. Now you can see we have 6 of these little slots, or the sketches for them. Let's extrude. We'll choose all 6 one at a time. Okay, so there's 6. We'll switch it to remove and distance through all. Hit OK. All right, so we are almost done. Let's. Does this have slice graphics? Slice view. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay. So the only other part feature here is the nub that will connect the linkage arm. And what's complicated about this is that the center point for this, which is what this, come on now, draw on pen, which is what this is dimensioning to, actually sort of goes into this outer part, sort of tire of the wall. And so it's a little tricky to grab that point, but it's important to put our sketch on the face of the spokes, because that is where the dimension of it, that first extrusion, is made. So we're going to use just a line that is 0.7 horizontally from the center point of everything. And then at the end of that line, we're going to make a circle. This widest circle is 0.25. And we're going to extrude it this first amount, which is 0.375. And let's see if that works. And there's the other parts. But okay, so we want to look at it straight on, whichever face you started on, that you can see it. That out to the right is material, not a gap, where if you turned it a certain amount, like 90 degrees, there would be a gap out to the right. The key is that whichever direction you're going, you are going out to material. And we need to make a sketch on the face of those axles, spokes. Yeah, there we go. And let's use or project that circle. Okay, so you can see the sketch plane actually goes through the center there. or through the middle of the wheel, and that's because we started the sketch on those axles, not axles, spokes. And let's get a line from the center here that goes out this way. Snaps to horizontal, but make sure you don't snap it to any other feature, because then it won't let you dimension it. So we need to dimension the length of this line to 0.7. And you can see how that line actually goes into the curved part, and that's fine. Let's get a circle. Make sure to snap to the end of that line and not where that edge intersects our construction line. So right on that end, and we'll dimension that. That one was 0.25. And let's see if it lets us extrude. We'll finish the sketch, and you can see that circle is sort of embedded a little bit. Let's extrude. We'll try to choose everything. Let's see where. Somewhere where it lets you choose everything. And the length of this extrusion that we saw before was 0.375. Okay, if you're not able to get all the parts of this extrusion, you got to figure it out somehow, because this is where that next part is. Okay, or the next feature. So the next feature is the second positive extrusion, and it is extruded at a distance of 0.125 with a diameter of 0.125. So let's go ahead and put a sketch on top of this. We can use that edge, get a circle here that is dimensioned 0.125. Finish the sketch, extrude, choose this, and extrude it 0.125. Finish the extrusion. And then the last feature is a hole. And you can tell it's a hole because there is this dimension, which is the depth of the extrusion. And the size of the circle is 0.0625. And then the cut 1/4 inch. And I think that's it. So we'll put a sketch on the top here. And we need a snap to the center point. So we'll use and a circle that is here. Wow, pretty darn close. 0.06625. And we'll finish the sketch, extrude, choose just that center circle. Switch it to remove, and the depth is 0.25. And there you go. That is the wheel. And get it done. Okay. And that's it.